Welcome to episode 55 of Liquid Velvet Literature here on Prose Radio. Those one-track minds that took you for a working boy. And welcome to episode 55 of Liquid Velvet Literature here on Prose Radio. We open the day with Tears for Fears from Songs from the Big Chair, and that was from Shout. One of those bands for me, those artists who you listen to on the radio and when you're in high school, or you will tap your finger to them as you drive, but I never really took in the lyrics or understood them, enunciated anyway. In my mind, they were different lyrics, and then I heard them today, and I was thinking, these are really, really good lyrics. And the first one today is called The Constant Wait. Desert Pint, 11:13 p.m. Right now in Barcelona, I'd be doing the same shit, or in Rome, or in Buckeye. The wait transcends space and time and ocean, but nobody does it like they do it in the desert. Sitting here outside of it all, outside of the writing, the next book, the next hustle, all the next bullshit, sipping a kilt lifter, bonus lime wedges from the belly shirt and ass behind the bar, while outside the moon burns white above the mountains, drinking to forget what I haven't done or will never do, all the precious normality I admire and despise. The constant condition, the constant weight and lightness, the constant ghost, the hidden laughing bruise, the sick and tired prostration before a night slowly wrapping around us, a lotus dream before the grip, sitting here at the bar, frontal lobe toggled, head change coming, the tapping in, mystery reopens as the night moves across the desert, winding and watching the dirt and rock and the grace of moonlight burning white and shining down on all of this. And some comments here would say, cheers, one step closer to writing whatever it is you're wanting to write in the long run. Sounds like, and hopefully will be, a drunken masterpiece in the near future. Hope it's published soon. Cheers. Cheers right back at you. Make it easy. Petaluda said, Mud and Lotus and Median Moonbloom. That's a beautiful comment. And Woods Tattoo says, the hidden laughing bruise. Rad. I love that word. Speaking of 80s. And then Nearia says, I love this. And we love Nearia. And this one is by 8 Lone Wolf 8. It's called Time Too Short. The blackened streams converging methodically, line by line, such power in its beauty. The etched pulp plains now eroded to carry the waves in synchronicity to unfold memory's paintings. A comprehensive look into the vault. Contrast of shadows bring life to the light on the steel walls as the rains from above fall in rumination. The plains flood the streams, leaving behind a silent bog, forgotten in sorrow. Beautiful. And LDW says, outstanding and completely gripping. And 8 Lone Wolf 8 says, thank you, LDW. This one certainly came from a powerful state of being while writing. Yeah, that's fucking fantastic. And number 55 will close with a piece by a writer I've never read, Tamaracian? I don't know how to say your name, but it's called The Summer Passes, and it's from a challenge by D-Tez John, who writes, the challenge header is Hidden Things. Behind every exquisite thing that existed, there was something tragic. The picture of Dorian Gray, Oscar Wilde. Tell me a story, poetry or prose. A Summer Passes. As the old man sits on the porch, the rhythmic rocking of his chair produces a creaking noise that clashes with the harmonious notes coming from the cardinals and the adjacent trees. He's unaware his movements make a disruptive noise that offsets the bird's animated warble. He is too preoccupied to take in the free avian concert. His thoughts have wandered back to how the days pass so quickly without notice or urgency. He remembers carefree summers of his youth, running barefoot through the pine forest, the branches jutting out like arms trying to slow him down. He recalls his mother's baked pie sitting on the windowsill to cool, the enticing aromas permeating the kitchen. He relives the thrill of catching crayfish in the brook next to the decrepit barn as the invigorating water swirls about, anchoring his feet to the steam bed. He reminisces of drifting off to sleep under a canopy of stars as his older brother stirs the smoldering embers of a waning campfire. He retraces his path to here by inventorying both the jubilant as well as the heartbreaking moments. Like the intermittent cool breeze from the oscillating fan on the weather floor, the memories fluctuate between turbulent and calm, refreshing and stifling. Through it all, he endured the dark times, the low points, knowing that sadness is offset by the comforting times which follows life's natural ebb and flow. There was optimism for a brighter future, the war and its disruptive lasting impact, the various jobs and associated travels he undertook, his wedding day, the tragic death of his middle son, the birth of his grandchildren, and the passing of his wife seem evenly distributed over time. Maturity has purged the resentment and self-pity associated with the setbacks punctuating his 77 years. He tempered his attitude about life's harshness, knowing there were never any guarantees. Feeling cheated or bitter at this point wastes precious energy and time, both of which are finite commodities not to be squandered. Tears will dry up while smiles can be retrieved. He appreciates the good and weathers the bad because you can't have one without the other. He understands that life balances itself out. Yet, sitting there, as the condensation from a glass of lemonade beads up and rolls around his swollen fingers, the old man can't help but be envious of the possibilities available to his granddaughter. He longs for the intellectual stimulus of college, something he never finished, much to the dismay of his father. He yearns to socialize with his peers, an opportunity lost since most of his friends are physically or geographically gone. He desires the wonderment of learning something new and overcoming an experience. He wants to be mentored. These are unattainable now, stolen by the passing years. Youthful innocence is not compatible with anyone his age. She's the future, he's the past. His granddaughter sighs. Sitting quietly on the porch steps, listening to the birds, she knows it's time. Summer is ending, which means 6th grade is only 1 week away. She dreads going back home to start a new school year in a new building with different teachers and different subjects. She wishes she could trade places with her grandfather. In her eyes, he doesn't have a care in the world, no worries. The idea of waiting months before she has a summer free to do nothing again is daunting. She hopes time passes quickly. And LDW says, powerful. That is a beautifully written story. Tamaracian, if that's your name, and also a beautifully created challenge. And that's going to wrap our show. Thank you for being here for number 55. And before I go, I will say, if you like to read or write, go to thepros.com, read or write, inspire, be inspired. In case you haven't noticed, things are kind of fucked up these days, and the world needs your work. Your writing is necessary. I'm going to get out of here. Hope you guys have a good weekend, and as always, take good care.